future is ours, boys.
The world of crime has always had the dominant lions. These have made history in the world of crime. These are the mob bosses who will always be remembered for their lives and their end. We present to you the 10 most notorious mob bosses of all time. Number 1. Pablo Escobar. Also known as the King of Cocaine, Escobar was a Colombian drug lord and the leader of the Medellin cartel, one of the most powerful and violent criminal organizations in history. Born in 1949 in Rio Negro, Colombia, Escobar began his criminal career as a smuggler and eventually rose to become one of the wealthiest and most feared men in the world. Escobar was known for his brutal tactics and was believed to be responsible for thousands of deaths. He was eventually killed in a shootout with Colombian authorities in 1993. His impact on Colombia and the global drug trade continues to be felt to this day. Number 2. Carlos Leder. Also known as the Drug Baron of the Andes, was a Colombian drug lord and co-founder of the Medellin cartel. Born in 1949 in Armenia, Colombia, Leder was a key player in the Colombian drug trade in the 1970s and 1980s. He was known for his innovative smuggling methods, including the use of small planes to transport drugs from Colombia to the United States. Leder was eventually arrested in 1987 and sentenced to life in prison, but his sentence was later reduced to 55 years due to his cooperation with authorities. Number 3. Amado Carrillo Fuentes. Also known as the Lord of the Skies, was a Mexican drug lord and the leader of the Juarez cartel. Born in 1956 in Navolato, Sinaloa, Fuentes began his criminal career in the 1970s and eventually took over the Juarez cartel in the 1990s. He was known for his use of elaborate and innovative smuggling techniques, earning him his nickname. Fuentes was also known for his lavish lifestyle and is believed to have spent millions on plastic surgery to alter his appearance in an effort to evade authorities. He died in 1997 while undergoing said plastic surgery. Number 4. El Chapo, whose real name is Joaquin Guzman, is a Mexican drug lord and former leader of the Sinaloa cartel, one of the most powerful and influential criminal organizations in the world. Born in 1957 in La Tuna, Sinaloa, El Chapo began his criminal career in his 20s and quickly rose through the ranks of the cartel. He was known for his ruthless tactics and was responsible for smuggling billions of dollars worth of drugs into the United States. El Chapo was also known for his ability to evade authorities and was on the run for over a decade before being arrested in 2016. He was eventually extradited to the United States and is currently serving a life sentence in prison. Number 5. Lucky Luciano. Also known as the father of organized crime, was a Sicilian-American mobster and one of the most powerful crime bosses in the United States. Born in 1897 in Lercara Fritti, Italy, Luciano immigrated to the United States as a child and quickly became involved in organized crime. He rose to power in the 1920s and 30s as the head of the 5 families of the Italian-American Mafia and is credited with establishing the modern structure of the organization. Luciano was known for his cunning and strategic thinking and was able to evade authorities for much of his career. He was eventually arrested and sentenced to 50 years in prison in 1936, but was released in 1946 due to his cooperation with the U.S. military during World War II. Number 6. Griselda Blanco. Also known as the Godmother, was a Colombian drug lord who was one of the most powerful cocaine traffickers in the world. Born in 1943 in Cartagena, Colombia, Blanco began her criminal career as a pickpocket before eventually becoming a major player in the Medellin cartel. She was known for her ruthless tactics and was believed to be responsible for over 200 murders. Blanco was one of the first female drug traffickers and was known for her extravagant lifestyle. Blanco was rumored to have had a penchant for gold-plated AK-47s. Blanco was eventually arrested in 1985 and served nearly 20 years in prison before being released in 2004. She was assassinated in 2012. Number 7. Meyer Lansky. Also known as the mob's accountant, played a key role in the development of organized crime in the U.S. Lansky immigrated to the United States as a child and quickly became involved in organized crime. He worked closely with figures like Lucky Luciano and Bugsy Siegel to create the National Crime Syndicate, a loosely organized group of crime families that controlled much of the illegal activity in the United States. Lansky was known for his business acumen and helped to establish the money laundering and gambling operations that became integral to organized crime. He was also instrumental in the development of Las Vegas as a major gambling destination. Lansky managed to avoid prison for much of his career and died of lung cancer in 1983. Number 8. Al Capone. Also known as Scarface, Capone is perhaps one of the most well-known mob bosses in history. Born in 1899 in Brooklyn, New York, Capone rose to power as the head of the Chicago outfit during the Prohibition era. He was responsible for the notorious St. Valentine's Day Massacre in 1929 and controlled much of the illegal activity in Chicago, including prostitution, gambling, and bootlegging. Capone's empire was estimated to be worth over $100 million at its peak, and he was known for his lavish lifestyle and charitable acts. However, he was eventually arrested and sentenced to 11 years in prison for tax evasion in 1931. He was released in 1939 and died of a cardiac arrest in 1947. Number 9. John Gotti. Also known as the Teflon Don, Gotti was the boss of the Gambino crime family, one of the 5 families of the Italian-American Mafia. He rose to power in the 1980s after orchestrating the assassination of his predecessor, Paul Castellano. Gotti was known for his flamboyant personality and love of the media spotlight, leading to his nickname, the Dapper Don. Under his leadership, the Gambino crime family became one of the most powerful and profitable in the country. However, it was this same love of attention that eventually led to his downfall, as Gotti was convicted of murder and racketeering in 1992 and sentenced to life in prison. Number 10. Frank Lucas. Also known as Superfly. Born in 1930 in LaGrange, North Carolina, Lucas was a high-ranking member of the infamous Harlem drug organization, the Black Mafia. He eventually rose to the top, using his connections in the Far East to import pure heroin into the United States. Lucas was known for his flashy lifestyle and refusal to pay tribute to the Italian Mafia, making him a target. However, he was able to evade his would-be killers and became one of the most successful heroin dealers in New York City during the 1970s. Lucas's operation was estimated to be bringing in over $1 million per day at its peak. He was eventually arrested in 1975 and sentenced to 70 years in prison, but he only served 5 due to his cooperation with the DEA. These were the 10 most powerful crime bosses in the world and will undoubtedly remain in the black history books of crime forever. What do you think? Which other criminals should be added to their ranks and written in the book? Write in the comments.